Peace and love, family. Peace and love. Or maybe I should say healing and hugs. Because, talking about a topic that's going to bring some healing. We all need to heal. So, one of my students today came in, wanted some therapy. I thought he was joking, but he was serious. And basically he said he don't know why his ex-girlfriend was talking about him in a negative way. And I know the two students, so I knew that it was true, what he was saying. And we don't believe in coincidences, family, because the funny part about the situation is maybe 30 minutes before he came to speak to me, the young lady was in my class and she did attempt to start discussing him. And I said, no, we don't do that. So family, let's be clear. Talking about exes, ex-girlfriends, ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands, ex-wives, baby mamas, baby daddies, I don't know, whatever you want to call them. All romantic relationships. That's what we're focusing on today, right? Speaking negatively about an ex you chose, we don't do that. Because the thing about it is, you did choose them at one point in time in your life. And I feel like personally, guilty people speak up. I always say that. If you had an ex, even if that ex mistreated you, there's no reason to talk about them. Because I personally don't want to discuss anybody who didn't treat me right anyway. No need to do that, right? Because I feel like, I don't know if it's just me. When I'm in a commitment, when I'm with someone, when I love hard. And when I'm done, I'm done. So why would I speak on them anyway? So I was kind of glad my student brought that to my attention today that he wanted to discuss that. Because I always say, if we have young people that are trying to do better, I'm all for that. And a lot of times they just don't know. So him coming to me, I sat down and made sure that I was not biased and I tried to give him the best advice. Because when you know better, you do better. And I never want to be the one to give anyone, you know what I mean, inaccurate information. And I basically told him, I'm neutral in the situation between you and her. I told her that as well. But I don't allow either one of you all to talk about one another because at one point in time, y'all was in love with each other. And I know they still care about each other. Family, it's the same thing. I see so many adults doing it. And let me be clear. I'm sure about 20 years ago, I did the same thing. Because 22 years ago, I had a kid with someone. So I know for a fact that before I healed and matured, I said some negative things about him. I did. And I remember someone telling me the same thing. I hope that I'm telling someone else to help them. Because I did look at it as if they were trying to help me. They said, listen, if you're going to stay, don't say nothing. And if you're going to leave, don't say nothing. Because you determine this situation and how you deal with that person. And they said, especially because you have a kid with them. And I promise we're going to get to that later, family. Because one thing I hate to see is somebody speaking on the parent. We're just going to talk about parents, people that co-parent. I hate to see one parent speaking on the other parent as if you don't know that it's hurting your child directly. So yeah, family, the first reason I feel like we shouldn't be discussing anyone that we chose, like I said, we chose that person at whatever time in our lives that obviously we attracted them. We were on the same level with them, whether we see it or not. So it's like, why are you bashing them? If you've outgrown them, that's just what you've done. You've outgrown them. Just grow. Why look back to say something about somebody? I'm going to say it again. I feel like only guilty people speak up. Because I got some exes that I don't want nobody to know they was my ex. Because when you look at them, you look at me. Let's just be visor and clear. Any ex, any partner that you choose is an experience. That's what ex means to me. experience. You experience that person, they experience you. Whatever you all came to the conclusion was the best solution for the experience, y'all already did this. So why discuss it? Especially in a negative manner. And I feel like people don't realize the people that you pick are a reflection of you. That's why I'm going to stay there. They're a reflection of you. Now, if they're an ex-partner, they might not be a reflection of the new you, the person that you grown into, but they were a reflection of you at the time that you chose them. So it's like, to me, the reason I learned and it made sense when I was told not to do it, because my thought was, why are you talking about somebody you chose? The same thing you saying about them, because we know everyone is a reflection. Everyone is a mirror of what we are at that time. I don't care what you say. I'm talking about myself. And I don't talk about myself in no negative manner. I don't speak on myself in a negative manner. So I was like, you right. I'm not going to do that anymore. Is it that easy? It's that easy to say, but it's a process in doing that, because I absolutely know that some people are toxic. Sometimes you the toxic one. Been there, done that through the t-shirt way. And so it's like, you talking about somebody ain't helping the situation when more than likely, because they are your reflection at that time that you're with them, if you're talking about them, you hadn't healed. And I always say that. So talking about an ex to me shows a lot of immaturity. For one, because I don't like people in my business. I'm a very private person in my relationships. I don't feel like I have to flaunt them or anything like that, because I know people don't really like to see people happy. But that's another topic for another day. And you literally have to have genuine people around you that no matter what they're going through in a relationship, if you happy, they not going to be hating about it. And I told the student that today, because a lot of the confusion was putting people in their business. I'm going to be honest, it was a young lady. And having people around you on both sides, the young lady and the young man, that are not having positive relationships, so they don't want you in a positive one. We already know that. Misery loves company, right? I feel like it also shows that you make poor choices when you talk about an ex. Because it's like, if you're talking about that person so bad, whether you believe it or not, the person that's listening to you is like, damn, really? That's who you picked? You know how I know? Because that's what I would say. That's why I cut that real quick. Like, nah, I ain't about to do that. If I'm talking about that person, it shows that I make poor choices. But the adult thing, or the mature thing, even if you're not an adult, is to be like, you know what? Yeah, I made that choice. I made that decision, and I experienced that person. But you know what? I'm about to move on, and it's really nothing to say about them, because, like I said, at one point in time, I don't care who you are. If you have a person that you consider to be your ex, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever you call them, especially if you have children with them, you're not about to tell me you didn't love them or lust them. You did one of them. Especially for, you know what I'm saying, the ones of us that stayed with the person long enough, however long it took, to lay down and procreate with them. You're not about to tell me you didn't love them, lust them, or like them. One of them 3 L's. Because you took time out of your life, because it's all time, to experience that person. Especially enough to put a title on them. Because, like I said, if you calling them an ex, that means you had a title with them. So it's like talking about them, I'm telling you, putting them down, talking negative about them, it really shows people that you make poor choices, that you're immature, that you haven't healed. It's like, really, what we doing? And probably that you don't really like yourself that much, because that's who you chose. And then you still talking about them? I just said, I got some exes on. Well, nobody know they my ex, so I ain't there about to talk about them. I'm gonna let them be great where they at. I'm trying to tell you. If anything, I might be like, they be like, this your ex? I'm be like, no, I'm not. I don't know him. He seems like a cool guy though. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real, y'all. It's some people don't get it. You talking negative about somebody is way more of a reflection on you than them, even if this wasn't about a romantic relationship. And that's the truth. Um, More than likely, this was another situation that occurred with my students. The person that's talking negative is either, I feel like I said, the guilty one, or maybe causing a relationship to fail. I feel like that, or either they're playing victim. It's like the person that want to speak up first is normally guilty, or the person that want to bash the other person, right? They either playing victim to make themselves look good or something like that, because it's like, why are you talking about that person in a negative way? Because I'm telling you, if you took time to make them your man, your woman, your husband, your wife, or whatever, it's like, come on now. People can outgrow one another, but that's just what it is. You outgrow them and you move on. It ain't nothing to talk about, especially in a negative way. That don't mean that person might not have been negative, but I'm telling you, more than likely, you were negative too. I ain't telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you what I know. Like, I haven't had experiences. I absolutely have. That's what we're here to do, family. Have experiences. And like I said, I'm too proud to put people in my business to let them know I picked somebody like that. And because I ain't perfect, I might have been acting like that. So that's why I ain't talking. Ain't nothing to talk about. Once I experience somebody, ain't nothing to talk about. And I feel like it's more of a show than tell, because it's too many adults. You're not about to tell me I'm not telling the truth, that literally still walk around doing it today. Like 30, 40 plus, you know what I'm saying? Old people. And I have a 17-year-old coming to me for therapy saying, like, that's not even cool. The situation, I'm going to be honest, he was like, she was in the wrong. Everybody kind of said she was in the wrong. And I said, I'm going to stay neutral. And the thing about it is, this young man, I feel like is mature enough and he care about her enough to be like, I wasn't even going to say nothing about the situation or let anybody say nothing about her, because I do still care about her. But the fact that she could go talk about me, he like, Miss L, why would she do that? And why would she lie on me like that? I said, baby, let me tell you something. Hurt people be hurting people. Like I said, a person ain't healed if they doing it. They need to be healing from whatever they need to heal from, whether it's your situation or something else outside of your situation. Like I said, it shows immaturity, and the person could be trying to play victim and make people feel bad for them. And I feel like, I'm telling you, this happens all the time. People feel like they have to put someone else down to bring themselves up. I know we don't think people don't do that in relationships. I know we don't think that we have people that say they love us that don't hurt us like that. That's why you just gotta know when it's just grow, family. And I just feel like karma handles everything. So I don't have to talk about a person that I've had an experience with. Karma will handle it. If they did you wrong, karma will handle it. I don't care how long it takes. I've seen that with my own eyes. I've seen it feel on my end like it took a long time, and I've seen it happen in an instant for karma to show up for a person that mistreated me. Because listen, let's be clear, family, it is what it is. We all get back what we give out. If you put out positive or good, if that's how you see it, that's what you get back in return. If you put out negative or bad, if that's how you see it, that's what you get back. That's why it's like you don't even have to talk about somebody you had an experience with as if karma ain't gonna handle it if they wronged you. But I'm gonna tell you what else karma will do. If you decide to put your mouth on them or you decide to be negative, I'm just gonna be clear. Yours coming too. That's why it's like it's best to just stay out of it, stay neutral, walk away, whatever it is you need to do. And that's the advice I was giving young man. He's like, yeah, you're right. Because like I said, it's only a couple of reasons people talking about a person they chose to be in a relationship, commitment, or a marriage with. It's only a couple of reasons they got so much negative to say about the person after they've experienced them. You got to let them deal with it. That has nothing to do with you. Even if it hurts you, because it might, you still got to let them deal with it. Or let karma deal with it. And last but not least, let me just say this, family. If you're talking about somebody you got a kid with, let's be very clear. That information, what you said, what you did, however this goes, is going to get back to your child. I'm telling you what I know as a parent and why I'm so glad that I was given that advice very early on with my son's father to not do it. Like, I'm straight up being honest. Probably about 20 or 21, I'm glad I was checked right off the bat. Like, we don't do that. We don't do that. There's somebody you chose, especially long enough to have a child with them. I know he hurt you. We don't care nothing about all that right now because you have bigger things you have to focus on, which is your child. And the fact that, like I said, none of us are perfect. I always feel like this. There are no victims because if somebody hurts you, especially more than one time, you allowed it. So how is there a victim? It was a lesson for you to learn. And like I said, when it comes to speaking negatively on an ex that you have a child with, you got to realize you hurt that child. I don't care what nobody say. Children love their parents for the most part, unconditionally. Why do you think you can see people out here that you could be like, man, that ain't shit. He this, he that, X, Y, and Z. Everybody in the streets know how he is. Or she this, she that. Everybody in the streets know how she is. But I bet you to their children, they love them. They love them. Because that's a bond. So I feel like as a parent, I'm trying to help somebody out. You talking about that parent, even if it's not in front of the child, if you doing it in any kind of way where it can get back to the child. I'm talking about talking to a family member, talking to, friends or somebody close knit. But I'm going to be clear about what I'm talking about. People don't even do that no more. We know what people do in this day and time when they want to talk. They go straight to social media. I've never seen so many people that claim they don't like people in their business, but they yet and still will turn around and put the whole damn world in their business once they hit sin. And you really think, I guess it's what? Is it like freaking? You know what I'm saying? People don't want the person that they were and the things that they did to get out because it's the old version of you. Be mindful of when you speaking on an ex that you have children with and you posting it on social media or any, platform or speaking it out in public where it can get back to your child. Because I'm telling you, your child see you as a good parent and their other parent. It has nothing to do with that. I'm telling you from experience, it's better to walk away. We wonder why young people behave the way they do, but nobody want to check older people for still doing childish shit. I was just grateful that I had a young man that's not an adult yet to come to me. And I'm grateful that I was able to point him in the right direction on some advice because he easily could have been like, she talking about me, I'm about to go talk about her. But what he said to me was, I'm grateful for his parents for one. Because he said, I remember watching my mom and my dad and I automatically knew how I was going to treat a young lady. And he said that he didn't always see good things. So that means somewhere down the line, somebody probably was like me. You grew, you matured, you changed, and you were honest about the fact that you're not perfect, but this is the way you do it. Because that's what I did with my kid. I made sure I didn't say nothing about his father, no matter what we went through, because it's bigger than that. So it's like family. When you talking about an ex, make sure you understand that that's more a reflection of you. That's whatever you're saying about them, especially if it's in a negative way, is more of a reflection of you. You chose that person at one point in time in your life, which lets me know you're still stuck there. Because if you wouldn't, you wouldn't even be talking about them in a negative manner. See the bigger picture, family. That's all I'm trying to say. I hope that I said something to inspire you. I hope I ruffled a few feathers too. Because some people need to know better so they can do better. But either way, family, I'm sending y'all peace and love. Better yet, I'm sending y'all healing and hugs.